Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Kondor Blue EDC Multi-tool. Kondor Blue was cool enough to send this over for us to check out, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So before we dive into what makes this such a unique and cool product, we're gonna go through a few of the specs. The version Kondor Blue sent over to us is this really cool matte raven black, but it also comes in a really cool space gray that has a lot of their Kondor Blue accents all over it. As you can see, the product itself is made from this really nice machined aerospace aluminum, so it's really lightweight and durable. It also has this really cool grippy pad that serves a couple different purposes. Moving around to the back, you can see that there's a large belt clip available, and you can use that to either slide in your pocket or put on your belt. It also doubles as a really nice big flathead screwdriver. And the last feature on there is that there is a small hole that's available to add a lanyard for either a bracelet or a necklace. So any of you out there that want to wear it, you can do so. So here on what we call the tool side, there's a bubble level available. And on the opposite side, it's completely machined flat. So you can use this as a level for your tripod or anything else that you need to check balance. It's really handy. So moving back here around to the flat side, you'll see that there's a large magnet, and this serves a few purposes. One, you can throw any of the bits on there that'll magnetically stick on there, and they'll be handy and available for you to just pull off. Two, you can throw a couple loose screws if you have loose screws in your rig and you don't want to lose them or you need them to keep them handy. Or three, you can do what I do and use this to attach it to a workbench or any other metal surface. As far as what the tool includes, out of the box, underneath this super fun clicky door, you'll find 5 1-inch bits that include a number 2 Phillips, a 3/16 hex, a 1.5 millimeter hex, a 2.5 millimeter hex, and a 3 millimeter hex. At the top of the tool, you'll see that there are 3 additional 2-inch bits, a 6 millimeter flathead, a 3 millimeter hex, and a 4 millimeter hex. These are the most common shapes and sizes for most rigs or camera setups, but you also have the option to purchase more bits on the Kondor Blue website or at any hardware store, but we'll get into more of that in just a moment. Next, you'll find 3 spots to drop any of the bits into, 2 on the side and 1 on the bottom of the tool. Each spot has a strong magnet so the bits won't fall out, and each point gives you different ways to leverage the tool for any given task. One last fun physical feature. This was actually designed and inspired by Zippo lighters, so that's where the inspiration for this door comes from. And it's actually a really fun and compelling fidget toy to just have in your hand. As far as price goes, at the time of recording this video, this is currently listed for $89 US on the Kondor Blue website. Now I know that seems like a steep price to pay for a camera tool, but we're gonna go over the pros and cons of that and why it costs as much as it does. It's really well constructed and it's super versatile. If you are comparing it to what else is on the market on the lower budget end of camera tools, I think you're actually getting a great deal with this particular tool. You have to think of a tool like this as an investment for your kit. Just like all the other pieces of your kit, you want it to last, you want it to stand the test of time, you want it to be durable, and you want it to be super useful every time you're using your camera. And this tool will definitely be that. When I compare it to some of the other budget options out there, you'll see that over time, replacing those or losing those and having to replace them because of wear and tear or just because you lost them, I think you'll find that this tool is actually a great deal. Okay, now let's jump into the pros and cons of this tool. Probably the biggest pro of this tool is that I no longer need to carry 17 different tools in my kit. This one tool can replace all of these. So over the last few years, a lot of camera cage manufacturers or tripod manufacturers have made their tripods or cages or tripod plates with built-in tools and little magnetic Allen keys. But for whatever reason, they always seem to go missing, either because I forget to put them back right away or they just fall out. So having something like the EDC eliminates the need to keep track of all of these. Because of the design and the style of the bits and the multiple spots with magnets that you can insert them into, it provides excellent torque and leverage whenever you need to make sure that your rig needs to absolutely be locked down. Remember, we talked about the ability to expand the selection of bits. One of the biggest pros of the design is the flexibility and the capability to expand or replace bits in the tool. And that's all because of the 1/4 inch shank bit design. Any bit that you can use in a standard electric screwdriver or drill can also be used in the EDC tool. This basically makes your bit selection unlimited. And this may be the most unrated feature of all. This tool is actually TSA compliant. I can't tell you how many times that I either left my multi-tool at home or they were taken away at the airport because of security, just because the tool looked like a pocket knife. Okay, let's talk about the cons of this tool. I really don't have a lot of bad things to say about it. I just have a few nitpicks and ways that they can improve in future versions. Let's talk about the pocket clip flathead. It's a little shallow for certain situations, and I found that I had to remove the top 3 bits before using it. It's not a deal breaker, it's just more of a slight inconvenience. The next cons or downsides about the tool are really gauged around price. Again, I think it's a great deal and I think it's a really important tool to have. So I personally would not mind spending the money on it. But if you're looking for a more budget-friendly option, there are versions out there that you can buy. This is particularly on the higher end. So if you're on a tight budget or if you have a specific budget for a job, this may not fit in. So that could be a con. The last thing to consider as far as price would be the selection of bits that you get when you purchase the tool. Kondor Blue has picked these bits specifically because they fit the most common cinema rigs. So that just may not fit in your workflow and you may need to purchase additional bits to get the tool to work perfectly for you. An example would be if you have a 1-inch bit that the tool comes with and it's too short for the particular job that you need it to do, you may need to purchase the 2-inch version, or if you need a different size, or if it's metric or non-metric. These are all things to consider. Again, these are not cons, but it is just a consideration you want to take before you buy this tool. Okay, and last, let's just talk about some updates that I think Kondor Blue could do if they came out with a version 2 of this tool. Going back to the pocket clip area where there's the large flathead, I think that this could be lengthened to help some of those hard to reach situations. And this would make the tool just a little bit better and a little bit more convenient, so you don't have to take those 2-inch bits out to use the tool. One of my other favorite parts of the tool is the level, and I think it's fantastic that it's built right on board. The only way I could see this being a little bit better is if they figured out a way to design a 2 or 3 axis level so that it could make your leveling that much quicker and that much more convenient. So having at least a 2-axis level would definitely help. And the last thing I can say is maybe they come out with a EDC Pro version where they give you a chance to customize the bits that you buy with the tool or give you a larger amount of bits than what already comes in the tool. That way, if you're more of a pro user, you already have everything right out of the box and convenient and ready to go. Now let's compare the EDC versus your standard traditional camera multi-tool. Standard multi-tools usually come in this kind of design that looks more like a pocket knife. Here you can see the different tools that swivel around. There's 2 big complaints that I have with this particular design. Over time, all the tools seem to loosen up, which is really annoying and just can be frustrating as you're trying to use it. And the second is the selection of tools are sort of you get what you get right out of the box. So if you ever needed to add an additional tool or change one out or replace one that's broken, it's going to be really tough and you're probably going to have to just replace the entire thing. The benefit of the EDC design is that you can have a collection of bits in your bag. Even though you are limited what you can carry on board on the tool, you can still have these available. So fitting along those lines, if you've ever used a driver tool for any length of time, you'll know that they wear out and they strip out over time, or they get dinged and the tool sort of becomes useless. With the traditional style multi-tool, again, you can't replace it if it's a stripped out part. You're gonna end up having to buy the whole thing all over again. With the EDC, I know I can always just replace the bits as needed. Let's talk about who this tool's for. Like I mentioned in the intro, anybody that's creating content on the regular, I believe, can benefit from this tool. If you're a professional camera operator or if you're an amateur photographer and you're just getting started, you also can still benefit from this tool. As far as recommendations, I can strongly recommend, if you have the budget, to definitely pick up this tool. I think you'll find over time that the durability and the quality of the tool will be worth the price. and it's a great piece to have in your kit. All right, that's gonna do it for us today, guys. I appreciate it if you made it this far in the video. If you have any questions or comments about the EDC Multi-tool, make sure you leave it in the comments below. And if you want to see something specific on the channel, make sure you also let us know about that. If you like what you saw, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.